Okay. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Shit, almost followed. Darn it, dang it, my bad. Um, whew, this it's a lot. It's a lot, and I don't want to. Um, I'm just go right into it. I don't. I know you have heard a lot of people say that this year. If you come across my video, you have heard a lot of people say this is this year's 2023, which is a 7 year, and one of the main things they talk about is are things is things being exposed, um, exposed in the media, exposed with celebrities, exposed with um, exposed with nature, what's going on in nature, the government, all that stuff, right? I'm pretty sure you hear a lot about that. And I'm pretty sure you have your favorite channels and whatnot. I'm pretty sure you have your favorite people you like to listen to, right? But when it comes to the people that are not your favorite, that you don't like listening to, the one thing I've always held to heart, and now I'm just jumping right into it. The one thing I always held to heart was take the message, not the messenger, right? Because sometimes whoever you believe in, source, universe, God Almighty, Allah, whoever you believe in, they'll send you a message through unusual messengers, right? Um, just to see if you'll listen. And they'll come at the right time too. It'll be very unexpected. So keep in mind what is being exposed by who. Most of the time, the people that you might not like are speaking the truth. And the reason you don't want to take the truth for what it is because of who they are, right? But you got in this day and age, you got to have the spirit of discernment that resides in you. Not just using your intuition, but discerning what's true and what's false. I mean, personally, I don't believe in truth, but I believe in personal truth, right? Um, but you have to have that spirit of discernment in order to move throughout this life, in this time, in this energy change shift. I know a lot of people, a lot of people, um, it they don't know what it is, but just know it's a da 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 da, it's a da 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 energy shift. It's been an energy shift. It's been and it's just getting more intense as time goes on. Ooh, right. Um, as time goes on, and either you're going to have to adjust to it or get left behind. Just simple. It's like a battle between the ego and the soul, right? Um, the ego and the spirit, the ego and the soul, right? Now going back to the topic at hand of you know when it comes to people and who you should listen to, take the message. Don't be attached to the messenger. Now, what's going on is what I've been seeing is a lot of false prophets are being exposed. A lot of false prophets are being exposed. Pastors, spiritual leaders, spiritual gurus, spiritual messiahs, whatever the word you want to use, they are being exposed by the divine. Personally, by the divine matriarch. But that's another topic at hand. um are being exposed, and a lot of people that you idolize, that illusion of them would dissipate. That illusion of them, the illusion of them will dissipate. The way you see them, the way you hear about them, the way you feel about them, they will all dissipate, because once you start really tuning in to yourself and to spirit, and putting a piece of pieces together, then um, you'll realize that idolization of certain people was a ruse, right? Now, what do you do when this all come crashing down and your world had just been disrupted, right? What do? You build yourself back up, right? There's this saying: if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, and that holds true. And remember, an idle mind is the devil's playground. Little bird, but yes, an idle mind is the devil's playground. So keep your mind preoccupied with the first thing you should do. One of the first is to know yourself, know who you are, examine yourself. I personally, there's so many aspects to yourself to know, right? Or you have your numerology, your astrology, your chakras, your um whatever. It was on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. It'll come back. But you have those, right? How I see now, once you start realizing this, the first thing, oh, and you have your shadow work too. Shadow work. Like the shadow side, that's how I take it personally, right? Now, how I tend to categorize knowing yourself is, of course, you want to talk knowing your chakras or however you want to say it, right? Now, you hear about this a lot. You hear about this a lot, right? And oh, that's another thing I gotta mention too. I'm gonna get to it, but you hear about this a lot, and you know sometimes the stuff you do your research, but going back to that word discern from it. Now with your chakras, whatever, um, they all have a basic need, right? They all have a basic one-on-one course on functionality, right? But each your own, the way your chakra activates, you will have to find that out. I like to tell people I can't give you the answers to how to operate your life. I can't give you the answers to to teach you how to operate how you are. And what came to me was, even though there's this basic functionality of chakras, right? There's this basic functionality of chakras, right? Each your chakras in your body react to what works for you. So we're gonna take the root chakra, for example. We all know, well, if you don't, the root chakra is at the base, and it's for, stability, foundation, grounding, this and the third, right? Cool. And security and whatnot, right? So that's the basic functionality of it. But not everybody grounds the same. You got that? Not everybody grounds the same. Not everybody is built on top of the same foundation. Not everybody use the same materials to build the foundation. So what materials do you use to help your foundation strong that works for you? For me, I ground best when I'm moving, when I'm like driving. You know, I am more centered when I'm driving when I'm moving versus just that works. This works. Being still works, but it may not work for you at that time. You know, so knowing how to ground yourself in your way that helps you become centered, right? You have your sacral chakra, which is creativity and pleasure and, all that good stuff, right? What brings you pleasure? Just because they say, oh, do art to open up your sacral chakra or to activate your sacral chakra doesn't mean you that will work for you. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It's a good thing to try, but it doesn't but if it doesn't work for you, it's not going to keep that momentum going in that chakra, right? You might be into poetry. Um God dang, the words just keep slipping. Whatever, art, pottery, whatever helps you access that creative force. Because not all of them work the same. They may say, oh, you have to wear orange. That might help for a little bit, but to actually maintain it, um, you have to you have to be able to utilize your own personal power, right? Which comes to my third chakra. I'm not gonna talk about all of them. I'm just talking about the first three because when it comes to spirituality, most people want to get to the third eye activation, right? But they forget about the lower. They forget about the foundation, right? So we have the solar plexus, which is yellow, which is located like right here in the center. And it's based how I see it is how you center yourself. It's your willpower, it's your drive. Most people say wear yellow, eat, yellow foods, this, down the third. That's foundational, but what's your personal activation to your own solar plexus, right? What's your own personal activation to it? So what goes back to what I was about to say earlier. Along your spiritual journey, you're going to have a lot of foundational information, right? You have a lot of foundational information regarding your life, spirituality, personality. People take personality tests, your astrology, your numerology, um, your personality, what you call it, one of the 16 personalities, your shadow. You're gonna have a lot of foundational information when it comes to those topics, right? Now, those that foundational information is supposed to help you build your spirituality on your plan. So, for instance, you might find out that for numerology, you might find out that you're life path number 6. That's the first word number that kind of came up to my mind. 6, right? And you might find this foundational information on, oh, okay, I see all this information on 6. Um, what does it mean though? 'Cause I don't see how they apply. You have to make it apply for yourself. Not make it apply, but you have to take it and expand on it because that's not the answer. That's just giving you a hint of your expansion, right? It's giving you a hint of your expansion. I'm just keep saying that word. So you might see that, okay, 6, I guess what is it, relationships, dealing with how you, I don't, look, whatever six means, you build on top of that. You don't take it for what it is, you build on top of that, right? We're going to use five, for example. I know five people of who are a life path number five, they make you feel like you are, your life path revolves around freedom. Okay, freedom of what? Freedom of where? Freedom of who? How do you express freedom? How do you use your freedom? Do you know the extent of freedom? Right? These are questions that will help expand. Now, you come with your own, you come out how you are, come up with your own answers or whatever, and you build on top of that, right? We're gonna take your um astrology for example, right? Now there are astrologers who explain that. I'm not an astrologer yet, but it's just what makes sense because I see a lot of people confused on it. So just say you have a Venus in Libra, 'cause that's the first thing that came to my mind, right? How can you make that Venus in Libra work for you in on a spiritual standpoint, right? Because you're given all of these at birth. You're given all of these at birth. So it's all about how do you cultivate it and how you make it work for you. Now, we also have it was other angels. Now, angel numbers, right? Now, this is a big one. There is a big one. So, angel numbers, right? We are if you are if you haven't been seeing them or if you've been seeing them a lot or whatever, you might see something like 111, 222, 333, 1111, 1010, 1331, or something like that, right? One, two, three. I'll just do all that. But and you will find this foundational information, right? But still want to know what it means. A good telltale hint is what were you thinking about at that time? What was going on around that time? What how is it applying in your life? So for instance, we have say you see say you're at a crossroads and you see the number 111 on your phone, on your radio, you're driving at a crossroads, you see 111 on your radio, right? 111 stands for new beginnings, and you're at a crossroads, meaning you have to make a decision on which beginning you want. Because there's multiple beginnings, but you just have to choose the path. Now, most people are afraid of making choices because they don't want to make the wrong choice. But a part of life is learning too. You're not going to make every right choice. You're going to make a lot of wrong choices actually, but you learn from every single one of them. You learn. Making the right choice don't guarantee a stable life, you know, because when you finally make that wrong choice, it mess you up. Because I can't believe I was wrong. Oh my God, what's going on? So you see these angel numbers, wherever you was doing, wherever you thinking about, wherever you're at. Me personally, and if you want to be specific, use numbers only you can recognize. If you want like a stamp or a check mark, right? Me, I use my birthday. I also use my also use my the time I was born because there is very specific to me. So you could do that, or I have a favorite number, right? I might use I can tell you one of the numbers I've used because I don't use anymore. I used to use 113 because 113 equals up to five, and five is one of my favorite numbers, right? So whenever I see the number 113 on wherever I'm making a life decision, I know I am doing the right thing, right? It's not a yes or no, it's a stamp. Yes, that's it. Stamp. No, that's not it, right? You also use angel numbers to mark if it's a no too. So, say your least favorite number is 4. I'm gonna say 4, right? You might say, okay, if this for me, my favorite number is 5, my least favorite number is 4. So if it's for me, 111, show me 113. If it's not for me, show me 112. You use your angel numbers like that, right? But you have to ask, you have to make it known, you have to show it, right? Now, on the topic of starting off your spiritual journey, it's always good to have discern spiritualists, watch videos, discern if they resonate with your soul or not, right? Build up your own university within YouTube or Reddit or um some platform that you can cross examine. Don't take every piece of information as is. You take that information and you build on top of it. Like when you read a book, you don't read a book as is. You read a book and you see certain passages, words, people, items, events, and you build on top of it. You expand on it because the book is only going to have so much information. You might be introduced to a whole new concept, a whole new word, and the author will give you their opinion or their perspective on it, on that topic. But you might get another perspective because again, perspective is 360. Perspective is not linear, right? So as more videos to come, as more videos are made, um, I want people who come across my video to understand that A, no one person has all the information, right? B, expand on your own spirituality. People will give you foundational pieces, but you expand on your own spirituality, right? And C, I'm gonna say 3. You have to do your own research once you learn these topics, because at the end of the day, when you can't be penalized for what you don't know. You will be penalized for what you do know. And for right and right now, what you will know is the divine feminine, the divine matriarch is taking her stance. And a lot of disrespect towards women will not stand. So with you knowing that, you are now aware. Now, I want you to sit now before anything, I just want you to sit back and just be observant. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to celebrities, pay attention to the people that fall, and pay attention to people that rise, right? Pay attention to what they say and how they say it and what they don't say, right? Pay attention to that because they all matter. All of that matters, right? I'm not gonna stay here for too long. I'm not gonna speak for too long, but I am trying to hit this mark. I'm like very like specific on what time to hit. So with that being said, good luck on your spiritual journey, and I'll talk to you later.